Hello, everyone. I would like to introduce you to Simon Hill, the acting course director and lecturer in the International Center for Transformational Entrepreneurship, ICTE, in Coventry University, United Kingdom. He's going to talk about entrepreneurship from two different perspectives. On one side, starting a new business, and on the other, how to develop already existing one, and how good it is for students and international students. He's going to talk more about his experience and the program itself. Enjoy.
Okay, thank you very much for that introduction, Galina. Let me just share my screen and we will get started. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see that lovely cityscape picture as on my PowerPoint slides. Thank you again for that warm introduction. My name obviously is Simon Hill, and we've been over the last 7 or 8 years here at Coventry University developing entrepreneurship within the university for not only business students but also students studying all different manners of degrees, so from art students to health to nursing, a very broad variety of different areas. And as the introduction said, this presentation is going to tell you a little bit about Coventry University. It's going to tell you about entrepreneurship and enterprise and my own personal experience, because I've spent the last 10 years running my own business or businesses, should I say, running my own businesses whilst studying at the university and also whilst teaching at the university. So I teach now, but I also run my own business on the side, which is an Android app at the moment. So let's go through the slides through each one. So first, a few questions that I would like you to consider in your heads as you listen to me. Firstly, why are you in this webinar? What is it that's drawn you to this? Hopefully it's the title, so you are never too young to be an entrepreneur. That's one of the key pulling factors that have brought you into this. And it's true, you are never too young to be an entrepreneur. As I said, I started my first business when I was 17 and haven't really stopped running a business ever since. So age is just a number. If you've got a solution to a problem that you wish to address, there are ways of doing that and generating an income as you go through. So hopefully that's one of the reasons you're here. Perhaps you're interested in Coventry University, perhaps you're interested in the Enterprise and Entrepreneurship course, all of which hopefully I'll be able to give you more details on as we go through. Next, why come to the United Kingdom to study? We have a lot of Bulgarian students here at the university, as well as many other nationalities. And it's important to obviously understand and for us to appreciate exactly what you guys as Bulgarians and those that are Polish, those that are Spanish, what they are looking for from their studies. So we aim to provide that. And finally, why Coventry? Why is it that's of interest to you? Again, hopefully I'll be able to answer that as we go through. But Coventry does have a lot to offer. We have a number of very, very specific courses that are designed to enable students to fulfill their full potential. And so whether it is enterprise and entrepreneurship degree or whether it's something else, I would, as a past student, sincerely recommend Coventry University as an institution for learning. I believe that there is a lot that we can offer to you as potential students. But one thing that I want to kind of get to from all three of these questions is, why you want to be in this webinar. It's because maybe you're interested in entrepreneurship. Okay, why are you interested in entrepreneurship? Because perhaps you want to make money, as we all do. Okay, why do you want to make money? And by asking the question why on a number of occasions to anything that we want to do in our lives, what you will find often is the result, or the root cause of why you do the things you do, is this: happiness. We as human beings want to be happy. We want to live happy lives. We want to enjoy ourselves. We're by sharing our lives with other people, husbands, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, by educating ourselves, by learning. That is a way of, through happiness, by earning more money. But happiness is almost always the root cause of the things that we do. And ultimately we are aiming to be happy. And for some of us, being happy might be driving a fast car. For some of us, being happy might be getting a degree, and that is something that makes you happy, and perhaps getting a good job. But ultimately, it always comes down to that importance of happiness and the reason we do the things that we do. So if in the future, as you move forwards with your education and with your day-to-day lives, always think about that. Take a step back and think about, why am I doing this now? Why am I doing these actions? It's probably because it makes you happy. It's the same reason why people smoke cigarettes, because it often it makes them happy. It makes them relax, and it allows them to fit in. So it's a big thing, happiness, and what I hope from you all is that you really think about that and actually consider, what is it that makes you happy and why are you doing that. But to kind of give you some more ideas of perhaps what might make you happy, by sharing with you my own personal list of things that make me happy, allow me to show you some pictures. So hopefully at this point you can see all of these pictures loading up, and essentially what you can see in front of you are the things that I've done, the things that I do to make me happy. And so starting at the top, hopefully you can see my cursor over the dog in the corner. This is my dog. Her name is Izzy, and dog happy. Now please don't think that I'm not talking about entrepreneurship here, because entrepreneurship does come into this discussion a little bit later on, and hopefully you'll understand why I'm talking about this now. Underneath there is a picture of myself and my wife in my Lotus sports car, which you can see a picture of the blue car up in the top above the motorbike. The motorbike is my motorbike. The Lamborghini at the bottom, I've had the opportunity of driving that Lamborghini, same with the Rolls-Royce. Picture of me and my family eating dinner, scuba diving, indoor skydiving, and then if you may recognise that face in the corner of Sebastian Vettel, the Ferrari driver and four-time world champion of Formula One. I've had the ability to fortunately meet Sebastian as well. And what do all these things have in common, including Sebastian when I met him? It is that these people, or the people that have these things that are nice in their life, these extreme things, the motorbike, the fast cars, they are taking advantage of entrepreneurial characteristics, because entrepreneurial characteristics is what makes up an entrepreneur. Just because somebody runs a business does not mean that they are an entrepreneur. And in the same way, just because you are an entrepreneur does not mean that you will run a business. They are two very separate things. Often they do interlink, and that's why you often hear entrepreneur and you think of business. but the two are very, very different. And so looking at the people that I know and the people that I've met over the last 10 years that have been entrepreneurs, either with businesses or not, all of them show a number of different characteristics that make them stand out from the crowd and make them very successful in what they do. To give you an example, the Rolls-Royce that you see at the bottom of that picture belongs to a dentist that I know. He also owns a Ferrari, a couple of very nice motorbikes, and a very, very large house. All of this, all of what he's achieved has come from those entrepreneurial characteristics. And so let's look at those entrepreneurial characteristics with a bit more detail. So here I'm going to show you and share with you a list of different characteristics that make, hopefully, you and the people that you know more enterprising and more entrepreneurial. And as I said, as we go through this list, if you find that a number of these things that I explain sound very much like the characteristics that you have, then there is a very good chance that you are indeed entrepreneurial already. And perhaps coming and attending at the Coventry University our degree would help you to develop that entrepreneurship, that characteristic, and to perhaps run your own business, and obviously, or potentially develop somebody else's business. So let's go through this list and allow me to explain each of the key component parts. So you'll see on your screen internal locus of control. Now that sounds like something that is quite complicated. I know when I first heard it, it seemed complex and something that I didn't really understand. But actually it is something that is very, very simple and is a really core part of being an entrepreneur. So in having an internal locus of control essentially refers to your perception of the world. So if you wake up one morning, get out of bed, and you look outside of your bedroom window and you think to yourself, what can I do? It's raining. There's nothing I can do that's going to make this day better. It's just going to be a normal day. It's going to be dull, and I can't make any change in it. That's what's called having an external locus of control. If, on the other hand, you open up your window, you can see it's raining outside, and you think, okay, it might be raining, but I can make big differences today. I can have impacts, I can change people's lives, or I could just change my life. That's fine. But essentially, having an internal locus of control is a philosophy that I have, and that hopefully many of you have also. That is, you can change your lives. You can change what's going on within your lives. And hopefully, by you taking part in this webinar already means that you have internal locus of control to begin with. You have a future opportunity. You know that you can make your lives better. You can make more money. You can be happier. And so you've already got some internal locus of control. But some days you might not. It may change depending on how you're feeling at a certain time. So very much feelings and the way you feel on a day-to-day basis is something that's quite important for you to consider. So next, creativity. What does creativity mean? Why is it important? Hopefully you know what creativity is already. That would help. But that's fine also. So creativity is essentially looking at new business ideas. It's about looking at taking ideas and turning them into profitable solutions. So it may be that you've got a problem, and that problem is that you keep losing your wallet, or you keep dropping your phone. So what's the solution if you keep dropping your phone and it keeps breaking? Well, very simply, somebody came up with the idea of creating a case for your mobile phone. And it's not very technical, but if you drop your mobile phone with a case on it, it is far less likely to break. And so that's what being creative is all about. It's not necessarily coming up with ideas that are so revolutionary that they're going to change the world. All you need to do is make a very small impact on people's lives, and you can generate an income from that, but also within a job situation, if you're working for a business, you can also have a big impact on that as well. So being creative within an organization is very much sought after. If any of you to go on YouTube and look into a video that's called Working for Google, you will see the way in which Google treat their employees, because they want them to be creative, and so they offer a number of incentives to allow them to be creative, working in different areas: sweets, chocolates, coffee, and many other benefits to working for Google, because they want people to be creative, and they also want people to be entrepreneurial within their business. In many cases, and if you come to Coventry, you'll probably hear this a lot, it's about being an intrapreneur. Rather than being an entrepreneur, an intrapreneur is somebody that is looking to have these characteristics, but actually deliver those within a separate company, because perhaps they don't want to run their own business. They don't want to be looking after their own future. They would prefer to have a regular paycheck, as many of us, including myself, actually would prefer. Okay, so the next characteristic that I'd like to talk about is tolerance to ambiguity. Tolerance to ambiguity, again, sounds very technical, but actually is very simple. It's essentially your ability to deal with stress and to deal with uncertainty. Things in your lives, as well as mine, sometimes don't go the way you think they will go. You may have trouble with something in your life that you expected something else to happen, but actually it was completely the other way around. And so what you really need to focus on is, can I deal with that stress? Can I deal with that uncertainty? Because if you can, then running a business, and again working within a business, is a potential opportunity for you, because business is very much ambiguity based. It is very uncertain. Sometimes customers won't pay you as quick as you would like them to pay you, and so the question is how do you deal with that as an individual? Do you phone them up and start shouting at them, or instead are you a little bit more down to earth? You can relax and actually move forward a little bit more gently. So how do you deal with that stress? If you sit in the corner and cry, then perhaps running your own business might not be right for you, but it's something you need to consider. Okay, so the next thing is leadership. Again, hopefully something that you're all aware of, but ultimately leadership can mean two different things. Well, two things that are similar. Firstly, leadership of other people. Working for your own business or working within a business will mean that you have to work and actually lead groups of people to an end goal. And that's what we really focus on, again, within some of our modules here at the university. We really try and focus on how to develop that leadership. Because within a business, if you become a manager and you have to look after people, you need to understand how you look after them, what might be going on in their heads that you can't see, but you would need to manage and deal with. The other side of leadership is personal leadership, taking responsibility for yourself and the actions that you take. It sounds relatively simple. However, when I look at my students that I'm marking their work at the moment, sometimes make mistakes that they continually make. Now, they could blame me for those mistakes, or they could blame themselves. And what they need to do is to blame themselves. I will help them to deliver better pieces of work if they allow me to. But sometimes it's not that case. They don't have that leadership personally to be able to understand what they need to do to move forward. Okay, so next is perseverance. How do you actually move on with items? Do you work at them continuously until it works, or do you try something, it doesn't work, and you leave it alone? Again, to run a business, you need to think about continually working on something. Often, businesses don't take off straight away. If you look at Facebook, if you look at Twitter, or any popular company that are based globally, many of them, they don't start off as big companies. They start off as small individual companies that grow sometimes very, very slowly. If you look at Amazon, for example, Amazon did not make any profits for the first 4 or 5 years when they first started, and now they're one of the biggest companies that are available online. So persevering, keeping working on a specific area is something that is important. Taking action is another important factor. So actually having an idea, being creative, having that leadership, all of those are really good things. But if you don't actually take action and spend some money, invest time, energy, and cash, then you may actually not be able to succeed in the first place. Whether you're looking to get a job with somebody else, another business, or you're looking to start your own business, if you never apply for that job, take that action, do the work that's required, then you're not going to get the job. So you need to take action consistently and precisely. Self-efficacy, again, sounds complicated, but it really isn't. But self-efficacy essentially refers to the confidence that you have in yourself. Do you feel confident in being able to deliver the things that you are required to deliver? If so, great. If not, then perhaps you need to work on that. There are lots of books, there are lots of videos available online that you can use to develop your own self-efficacy and your own confidence in yourself. Because we all have things to be confident and to be proud of. Sometimes you just need to find those and actually work out which you would prefer. We've got independence, so your ability to work alone, because sometimes working as an entrepreneur means you will work alone. And at the same time, working within a business means that you are working alone. Sometimes you really need to just focus on your own personal abilities and actually be sure that you can do these things, because more often than not you can actually achieve very, very good things. Referring back to one of the pictures that I showed you earlier, there was a picture of me walking across fire, and that is a very strange thing to do. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was something that I wanted to do and that I raised some money for charity for. But my ability to focus and say, yes, I can do this, rather than no, I can't do this, again, is that difference between entrepreneurs and those that just live a rather average life. And what I would hope for you, you guys that are listening to me now, is that you don't want just an average life. You want something that is above average. You want something that is great, something that you can be proud of and that your families and your friends can be proud of. And if that is the case, then here at the university, we truly believe that we can deliver that. So let's just look at the last two. So opportunity recognition, being able to see the opportunities. Again, you guys have already seen the opportunity because you've picked up the promotion for this webinar and you've seen it as a potential opportunity. So have a look, take a look at that and see what other opportunities are available, and obviously keep your mind open to those things that I'm going to discuss as we go through. And finally, look at risk taking. Are you willing to take risk? Because sometimes taking a risk and it going wrong can be painful. But when you take a risk, you can often make money. You can often get better rewards. And so, with a lot of students that I work with, a lot of them look at trading currency as one of their businesses. And yes, there's a lot of opportunity there to make money, but at the same time, a lot of risk, and a lot of money is made and a lot of money is lost. but it's about understanding and taking advantage of that rather than just not taking any risk or taking risk without really thinking of it. But as I've said at the bottom here, so people that have a combination of these are very life. I know this from personal experience. Not so much for me. I mean, I believe I have many of these opportunities, and I've made quite a bit of money through that, and I do have a very enjoyable life. But also from a lot of the people that I've met. Again, Sebastian Vettel, Formula One driver, looking at him, having had a conversation with him, he has many of these key characteristics, and he's obviously one of the most successful Formula One drivers of all time. Okay, so let me just load up these final words. Hopefully you will be able to see the animation on your screen, but I realise that it may be a little bit difficult to see. So allow me to explain it if you can't see it. What I want to talk about with this slide is the process of making decisions, because we make over 35,000 different decisions every single day, and those decisions may be something as simple as, shall I get out of bed now or shall I wait another 10 minutes? And it's a very simple decision, but if you wait those 10 minutes, how will that impact the rest of your day? It might make you miss the bus. It might make you late for a class. There's a number of different implications that decision may have, but it may not have. So if you imagine, if you can see this animation that's on your screens, if I throw a ball down a slope and it hits a pin or it hits a metal object, it's either going to go one way or the other. And as you make those yes or no decisions in your daily lives, those decisions will take you in a certain direction. Now, if you make those decisions right on one day and wrong on the next day, ultimately they probably will cancel each other out. But if you consistently make better decisions on a daily basis, you will be more successful. So as you hopefully can see in the text at the side of this image, if you are eating healthy for one day, you're eating salads, lots of vegetables and things like that, is that going to make you healthy for the rest of your life? Of course it's not. In the same way, if you eat lots of fatty foods, McDonald's, on one day, is that going to make you overweight and obese for the rest of your life? No, it's not. And so what you need to consider is, what are the decisions that you are making on a daily basis? Should I go to class or shouldn't I? Should I choose Coventry University or should I choose somewhere else? Some of these are big decisions, some of them are very small decisions. But what I can say, again from personal experience, is by making decisions, by saying yes more often, then it can actually lead to very successful things. If any of you have ever seen there's a movie called The Yes Man with Jim Carrey in it, it only demonstrates really what saying yes can actually open your eyes up to, and it's about opportunity recognition, as I spoke about earlier. So it's about focusing on what can be achieved by moving forward, by saying yes, and by doing lots of opportunities. And I've made a lot of money by doing that, which I'll discuss in a little while. So let's talk a little bit more now about business, and the key elements of why business is important. So firstly, why do you want to work for a business? If it is you want to work for a business, or you want to run your own business, or perhaps you want to do both, as I do, the options are available to you. But why is it you want to work for a business? Is it because perhaps the risk of investing your own money is something you are afraid of? It's possible. It's certainly something that affects me personally, but at the same time, that hasn't stopped me setting up businesses, perhaps just smaller businesses. But the knowledge that you need to start a business is often is within you already, and also the knowledge for actually running a business or working within a business again is within you. What the university does, both looking at our enterprise degree and our other degrees based in business, they all have a very similar core material of what business is and how it's delivered. But rather, looking at starting your own business, it's very much a focus upon developing ideas, developing you as a manager of people, rather than you just working within a business and not actually moving up the ladder, because that's hopefully what you all are looking for. You're looking to strive forward and move as a leader forward, and that's what really makes us stand out from the crowd in terms of our degree. We do create leaders, and a number of our students every year when they graduate go to work in some very large businesses. Some currently work at IBM, the computer company. Some work at Barclays Bank, and so our degree is very much focused on looking at how and why what you need to do to actually start a business. And the businesses that are recruiting our students are looking for those similar characteristics. What is it that running a business means to them? It means that you are independent. You can take your ideas and you can lead a team, whereas some other degrees don't necessarily focus on that core area. Okay, so let's talk about starting up a business in its most basic form now. So the first thing you need to consider when starting up your own business, if that's something you want to do, is firstly finding what a problem is. What is the problem? As I discussed earlier with the mobile phone example, if you drop your mobile phone and it smashes, if the screen breaks, that's obviously a problem. It's something you do not want to happen. And so the solution to that would be the creation of the phone case. Now, obviously, you can create lots of different types of phone cases. You can create very thin ones, like the one that I'm looking at right now on my own personal phone, but also it could be a case that is made of certain materials like rubber that actually allows the phone to bounce and actually absorb impact, which obviously for certain individuals, perhaps people that work as builders, that is something that they often use, because if they drop their phone, if they're in an area that they could drop their phone more easily, then actually they want something that's going to be a lot more protective. So the solving of the problem is not necessarily as easy as a phone case. You need to be much more specific and look at who the target audience is, and are they likely to be breaking or dropping their phones. So another problem, we could look at hunger. Hunger, eating food, is something that we obviously all do and we need to do to survive. So what businesses have solved that problem? McDonald's, for example, they have solved the problem of people being hungry by obviously creating the Big Mac and the various other burgers that they provide. But there's more to it than that, because there are lots of places that you can buy food that will sustain you as a human being. And so what McDonald's have done is taken an idea of food that's quick, food that's tasty, food that's low cost, or low price, should I say, and it's then provided that to the masses and seeing what people want and what they can actually sell. Obviously, with McDonald's, this is something that has gone out across the whole world and is an internationally recognized brand, all from two brothers, the McDonald's in America, starting up a business that made very nice and very tasty burgers. And the final point, as I've just brought up on the screen, is will people pay for this solution? You know, is it something that they actually want? Because I very often hear of examples of where people have come up with ideas, started a business, until they realise that actually there is no need for that business. People do not have that problem, or people are not willing to pay that price to solve that problem because it's not that important to them. So it's important to do that research and understand, you know, what it is that is needed. And then finally, you know, if you've said yes to these questions, if you've managed to find an answer to that, then you know, you can create a business. You can take something from there. Okay, so allow me to just kind of tell you a little bit about our degree. I won't go into too much detail, as I'm sure you can read about this in your own time. But our degree is, as I said previously, is very much has the same core materials as many of the other degrees here at Coventry University and at other universities across the world. But what really makes us stand out is the fact that we focus on that startup element, that focusing on you as a manager of a business rather than just being an employee of a business. And that's what has led a number of our students after graduation to working for these big companies like IBM and like Barclays, as I mentioned earlier. But also allows them, if they do want to run their own business, to continue that. We have a number of students that are currently studying here at the university that are running their own business at the same time. They are generating income, they are solving a problem, and they are making money, and they are applying what they are learning. And so that's what I would implore you to do. You know, if this is an area that you would like to get involved with, or you'd like to engage with, then please do consider us. If you'd like to find out more, I will show you my details at the end of this PowerPoint slide, and you're more than welcome to contact me for more information. I'm happy to have one-to-one Skype conversations or email conversations if you wish. But we have a number of different options and support mechanisms to allow our students to actually create their own businesses. So if you think you've not got enough money, for example, there is funding available to allow you to actually start your business. If you don't know what to do with this specific problem and it's not an area that's been discussed yet within the course, you can come to us and we will help you, we will support you, we will give you mentoring. And once you've gone through that process, you've finished your degree, it then gives you the option. Do I want to run my own business, or do I want to go and work for somebody else? And as I said, the fact that we have very small numbers, we focus individually on our students and we know them intimately, and prepare them for the outside world, prepare them for business, either their own or to work for a larger organisation. And we can provide them with a very detailed reference to do that. So please do consider that and think about how that could impact upon you. So just to kind of finish off about the degree, as I said earlier, there are lots of opportunities available to you, and this is one that was available to me when I started 10 years ago, because I studied this very degree. I studied it, I've taught on it, and obviously at this point I now run the whole degree as it stands with the various other team members that I work with. And this opportunity for me, as I've said there in front, was worth £71,000. Now, unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly how much that is within the Bulgarian currency, but you can probably do the calculation yourself. But £71,000 over the last 10 years the university has given me to start businesses, to develop my businesses, prizes, competitions, free laptops. There's been lots of opportunities that have been there for me. Now, whilst some of those opportunities have changed, there are still lots of things that are available to our students to enable them to develop, to get some money out of the university, to actually push their ideas forward. In fact, in the next few weeks, we'll be having a competition to win money to actually set up an app that could be available on the Android Play Store or on the iOS App Store. And again, I won that last year, and through that I've got my own Android app that is available to download. If you wish to download it, it's called Year Dot, so please do check it out. Okay, so just to finally to finish up and tell you a little bit more about Coventry University and Coventry, the city. You have probably heard this already, but Coventry University is very proud of a number of awards that it's had over recent years. The most recent of which is that we were named University of the Year in the UK about 2 weeks ago. And over the last 3 years, we've also been named Modern University of the Year for the last 3 years in a row. We're investing lots and lots of money within new buildings, new facilities for students like yourselves. So it is well worth coming and having a look at what we really can offer, because it's more than just a degree of focus. It is very much the environment that you could be learning in. Coventry City is a very lovely place. It has a lot of history, all the way back to the 1300s, but also more modern history, and it is much more modern now with various restaurants, clubs, bars, everything that a modern student would need. And then finally, the teachers themselves. We are all experts in our field. We've all studied specific areas, the areas that often we truly love. And hopefully, from my presentation today, you can see that this is something that I do truly love and I truly believe in. And what I would like you to do is to take that opportunity. See what we can offer to you as a potential student, because there are so many opportunities out there. There are so many courses out there that will make you, they will give you a degree, but you will be one of hundreds, one of thousands. By doing a degree in enterprise and entrepreneurship, you become one in a very small number. Last year we only had 20 students graduate, but those 20 students had a very, very good experience. They were able to go to different countries with the course, and through that, many of them have got very, very good jobs or have gone on to study postgraduate degrees. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for listening. If you've got any questions, hopefully I will try and answer them. But if not, then please do follow me. You can find my Twitter details at the bottom. So obviously the one on the left is my personal Twitter, but the middle one is our department, and then finally the one on the right is my app itself. So if you're interested, then please do follow us. But thank you very much for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Simon. Just wanted to add that anyone who has any further questions or would like to come for a free consultation at our office, just come around at Yankos Gogov number 3, Vision for Education office, or contact us at office@visionedu.eu. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Simon, for the wonderful presentation. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.